Happy Sunday, May 12th, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. My name is Hunter, and in today's weather forecast, we're going to be looking at your Mother's Day forecast, temperatures and precipitation, and walking you through today's weather forecast. And we do have severe weather possible on Monday, May 13th, tomorrow, and Tuesday, May the 14th. We'll do a complete breakdown of everything that you need to know in today's weather forecast. So if you are new here to Weather on the Go, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. You want to help out, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. Also be sure to like the video down below. It helps out more than you know to get this information passed along to more and more people. Without further ado, let's get into the weather forecast here for this morning. Temperatures started off pretty mild across the middle of the country from the upper Midwest southward all the way to the Gulf Coast. Temperatures not too much to complain about here, into the 50s, even some 60s down here to the south. This afternoon, it will definitely feel like spring, even summer out there for some of us. 80s up here into portions of the Midwest, the Twin Cities, down towards Chicago, Des Moines, and St. Louis, all of us into the lower and maybe even middle 80s this afternoon. A bit cooler across the Northeast. Temperatures here from Maine back toward Pennsylvania and everywhere in between there will likely reside in the 50s and 60s, and also warmer out west. So temperatures out here will be into the 70s and 80s, especially even down into Phoenix, down into the low 90s this afternoon. Looking here at the 500 millibar height anomaly, the blues show you where the active weather will be with the rainfall. The oranges and reds over here show you more of where the inactive weather will be with the warmer temperatures and drier conditions. So we'll likely remain dry today across the Pacific Northwest, but a short wave trough will move across the southern plains today. This will actually bring us the threat for severe weather. We have a little area or two of slight risk, level 2 out of 5 on the scale here for Texas into portions of Louisiana, and that marginal risk extending up into western Oklahoma and western Kansas. And a sneaky level 1 out of 5 marginal risk up here into eastern Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, and the northwestern lower peninsula of Michigan. You can see wind and hail was going to be the main threat here. Wind was about a 5% chance of that up into Wisconsin and Michigan, 5% chance in the brown here across the southern plains. A little bit greater of a wind probability there in southeast Texas and western Louisiana to a 15%. We also have those 15% areas for quarter size hail or larger. And the tornado threat is highest across Texas into Louisiana and far southwest Mississippi. The favored corridor for tornado potential today will be from Amarillo southward toward Lubbock there, San Angelo, down to San Antonio, and into the portions of the Shreveport region. Greater tornado potential of a 5% will be from Houston eastward there toward Beaumont and also Lake Charles and the Baton Rouge area there into Louisiana. Looking at the setup here today, you can see dew points advecting northward from the western Gulf of Mexico into the mid and upper 60s, some 70s dew points down into coastal Texas and Louisiana. This will contribute to very strong, if not extreme, instability levels across especially south central Texas and coastal Texas, over 3,000 joules per kilogram today. So looking here at the rest of the morning, we have some scattered showers and storms all across Texas Hill Country here. Some of these could pose a risk for wind and hail and an isolated tornado this morning. More supercells developing back here into the panhandle of Texas and West Texas this afternoon. These are going to be more discrete or semi-discrete, so there actually may pose more of a risk for tornadoes, whereas the storms across East Texas, while the tornado threat will be there as well, I think hail and wind will be the main zone across those regions. And then as we go into this evening, those semi-discrete supercells will try to push eastward toward the DFW Metroplex and fall apart a little bit later on this evening after sunset as the atmosphere stabilizes. A little bit of a mesoscale convective system is possible from Louisiana into Mississippi overnight into early Monday morning. That could pose a risk for wind, hail, and a few tornadoes. We'll keep a very close eye on that going into Monday morning. Besides the severe weather threat, very heavy rainfall is going to be a big deal with this storm from Kansas all the way down through Oklahoma, Texas, parts of the Arklatex and Arklamis region down here. We're going to start to see some very heavy rain, the heaviest into eastern and southeastern Texas, into west central portions of Louisiana. Those purples and reds indicating over 3 inches worth of rainfall the next 12 to 24 hours. So the Weather Prediction Center has a large slight risk for flash flooding across east central Texas and into southern Arkansas, Louisiana, and western Mississippi, but a smaller zone of a moderate risk of flash flooding across East Texas into western portions of Louisiana. So we'll keep a very close eye on that. That shortwave trough will be slow to move across the country as we go into Monday. You can see it shifts closer to the mid-Mississippi Valley there on Tuesday, and then eventually on Wednesday midweek in toward the Carolinas there and the Delmarva region out east. So it's going to bring rounds of precipitation there to the Mississippi Valley as we go into the start of the work week on Monday, May 13th. That will shift east, the eastern seaboard down to the southeast on Tuesday, May the 14th, and then up the east coast toward Maine and the I-95 corridor, seeing some very heavy rain potential midweek on Wednesday, May 15th. And looking at that, between now and the midweek time frame, between now and Wednesday, May 15th, the heaviest rains down into the Gulf Coast states and Dixie Alley, from East Texas eastward here through Louisiana, Mississippi, parts of Alabama there, Georgia to South Carolina there, even coastal North Carolina and North Florida. All those areas could be seeing at least 3 inches worth of rain, and then there will be areas down here as well near the Gulf Coast, like Mobile, Alabama, or the Hattiesburg region, or even Montgomery, Alabama, that actually could see over 6, 7, or 8 inches of rain through the middle of the week. So there is another moderate risk for flash flooding Monday, May 13th into Tuesday, May 14th for tomorrow across southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and extreme northwest Florida. That slight risk for flash flooding Tuesday, May 14th into Wednesday, May 15th will extend into southeastern Alabama, North Florida, southern Georgia, and the coastal Carolinas, with a marginal risk for that further to the north. We are monitoring some severe weather there on tomorrow for Monday, May 13th, a slight risk of severe weather from the Houston and San Antonio area all the way down to Corpus Christi, and then further north from there toward Tyler, Texas, the Shreveport and Monroe area over here to Lake Charles, New Orleans, and also Jackson, Mississippi. Wind and hail are going to be the main threats, so you see the 15% probability of 60-plus mile-per-hour winds there tomorrow, and the hail threat is going to be formidable, especially back here into Texas, southern Arkansas, and northwest Louisiana from around the Shreveport region, Texarkana down here toward the I-35 corridor, toward Waco, Texas, and also the Austin, San Antonio area. We could be seeing hailstones of hen egg size or larger, that is 2 inches in diameter or larger, and the tornado threat will be greatest there from around the DFW Metroplex eastward towards Shreveport there, and even into portions of Monroe, Louisiana, and southern Arkansas. Looking at the setup for Monday, dew points well into the 60s and 70s across the lower Mississippi Valley. That will contribute again to some strong instability in excess of 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram. So you can see isolated supercells firing up there Monday morning across Oklahoma down into Texas. 1 or 2 of these could already pose a risk for some very large hail even Monday morning. We'll start to see some upscale growth with those supercells as we go into Arkansas, Louisiana, and far east Texas Monday afternoon. Additional supercells developing perhaps on outflow boundaries across south central Texas as we go into Monday afternoon. Those could be the ones to produce very large hail and wind, and then more upscale growth from there. We could have a line of storms literally from the Jackson, Mississippi area through Baton Rouge, Alexandria, down here to Lake Charles, Louisiana, Houston, and possibly as far south as Corpus Christi as we go into Monday evening. And then going into early Tuesday morning, that will shift further east, so areas like New Orleans, into the Mobile area, maybe even Panama City, we'll start to see some big wind and hail with these storms as they move through with an MCS, a mesoscale convective system, early Tuesday morning. And then that translate over to Tuesday, we have the level 1 out of 5, a marginal risk for severe weather for the Atlanta area, Columbia, over here to Charleston, Jacksonville to Tallahassee, back here to Mobile, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and the Montgomery region, and even Huntsville. So these areas in the southeast will have a chance for severe weather. There could be an upgrade to a slight risk of severe weather on Tuesday across parts of this region. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll keep you updated on that. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for additional weather forecast updates throughout the week. Make sure to leave a like down below as well, and comment down below if you have any comments, questions, and concerns. I'll get to those later on today, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their weekend out there.